morning, Acharya.
Good morning.
Om Namah Shivaya.
Om Sadashiva-Samarambham Shankaracharya-Madhyamam Asmadacharya-Paryamtam Vande Guru-Paramparam. Om Sahana-Vavatu Sahana-Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Vidvishavahay. Om Shanti. Okay, so we are on the fifth khanda, fifth section of the third chapter. So we will chant the first four mantras. So please unmute yourself. Athaye asya urdhva rashmayah.
Athaye asya urdhva rashamaya.
Ta eva asya urdhva madhunadayo.
Ta evastu urdhva madhunadayo.
Guhya eva desha madhukritaha.
Guhya eva desha madhukritaha.
Brahmaiva pushpam ta amrita apaha.
Brahmaiva pushpam ta amrita apaha.
Deva ete guhya desha.
Deva ete guhya adesha.
Etad brahma abhyatapan.
Etad brahmya apatapan.
Tasya abhitaptasya.
Tasya abhitaptasya.
Yashasteja indriyam.
Yashasteja indriyam.
Viryam annadyam.
Viryam annadyam.
Rasaha ajayataha.
Rasaha ajayataha.
Tad vyaksharat tad adityam abhito ashrayataha.
Tad aksharat tad adityam
Adityam abhito shrayata.
adityam abhito shrayatata.
Tadva etad yat etad.
Tadva etad etad.
Adityasya madhye.
Adityasya madhye.
Shobhata iva.
Shobhata iva.
Teva ete rasanam.
Teva ete rasanam.
Rasa veda hi rasaha.
Rasa veda hi rasaha.
Tesham ete rasaha.
Tesham ete rasaha.
Tani va etani amritanam.
Tani va etani amritavam.
Amritani veda hyamritaha.
Amritani veda hyamritavam.
Tesham etani amritani.
Tesham etani amritani.
So we are seeing upasana on various layers of the sun, of Aditya. We have seen 4 layers so far, 4 upasanas, and this is the upasana on the 5th layer. And the 5th layer is associated with the Urdhva Rashamayaha, the upper rays of the sun. And Guhya eva Adesha Madhukritaha. So the secret teachings, Guhya Adeshaha, Madhukritaha eva, are the bees. Madhukrita is the bees. So the secret teachings of this mantra, which is what? What is the secret teaching of the mantra? The upasana. So the upasanas are the bees, and Brahmaiva Pushpam. So here Brahma is the Omkara. So Omkara is the Pushpam, the flower, and Ta Amrita Apaha. That Omkara meditation itself, the Omkara Dhyanam, becomes Amrita Apaha. That juice which becomes the honey, the Karma Phala. Then Yashas Teja, Indriyam, Viryam, Annatyam. So these are the various stages. And in these stages, this Adrishtam, it flows into the sun, the unseen juice, which becomes the honey, Adrishtam, it flows into the sun, And this forms the inner core, the fifth layer. And what kind of layer is that? Aditasya madhye shobhata eva, which is in the middle of the sun. Aditasya madhye shobhata eva, which is vibrant. Shobhata means throbbing or vibrating, so which is vibrant with activity. And teva ete rasanam, rasa veda hi rasaha, tesham ete rasaha, tani va etani amritanam amritani, veda hi amritaha, tesham etani amritani. So rasanam rasaha. The Vedas are the essence. So Rasanam, the first one, the Vedas. And out of these essence, Rasanam Rasaha, a further essence is pulled out. The essence of the essence. And these are the five karma phalam, which are there in the five layers of the sun. So essentially, they are the essence of the essence. And Veda hi Amritaha. Veda itself is the Amritam, the nectar, because it is immortal. Veda was never born and will never die. It comes with every Srishti, and though it goes away, it comes back with the next Srishti. So Vedahi Amritaha. Veda is the immortal one. And Tesham Etani Amritani. And these five layers, compared to the sun, are the essence of that Veda. That is the fifth Khandaha. Now unmute yourself. We will go to the sixth Khandaha, Sharta Khandaha, sixth layer. There are four mantras they will chant. Tadyat Prathamam Amritam.
तद्यत् प्रथमम् अमृतम्
Tad Vasava Upajivanti.
तद्वसव
तद्वसव उपजीवन्ति
उपजीवन्ति
Agnina Mukhena Navaideva.
अग्निना
अग्निना मुखेन न
मुखेन
वै देवा
Ashnanti na Pibanti.
अश्नन्ति न पिबन्ति
Etad Eva Amritam Drishtva Tripyanti.
एतत् एव अमृतं
अमृतं
दृष्ट्वा
दृष्ट्वा
तृप्यन्ति
तृप्यन्ति
Ta Etadeva
य
तदेव
एतदेव
Rupam Abhisamvishanti.
रूपम् अभिशंविशन्ति
रूपमभिसंविशन्ति
Etasmad Rupat Udhyanti.
एतस्मात्
एतस्मात्
रूपात् उद्यन्ति
रूपादुष्यन्ति
स ये एतद् एवम् अमृतं वेद
स य एतद् अमृतं
इममृतं
वेद
वेद
वसूनाम् एवैको भूत्वा
वसूनामेवैको
वसूनामेवैको
भूत्वा
भूत्वा
अग्निनैव मुखेन
अग्निनैव
अग्निनैव
मुखेन
मुखेन
एतद् एव अमृतं दृष्ट्वा तृप्यति
एतत्
एतत्
एव
एव
अमृतं
अमृतं
दृष्ट्वा
दृष्ट्वा तृप्यति
तृप्यति
स एतद् एव रूपम् अभिसंविशति
एतत् एव
एतदेव
रूपम्
रूपम्
अभिशंविशन्ति
संविशति
संविशन्ति विशति अभिसंविशति
अभिसंविशति
संविशति
एतस्मात् रूपाद् उदेति
एतस्मात्
एतस्मात्
रूपा उदेति
रूपादुदेति
स यावत् आदित्यः
यावत्
यावत्
आदित्यः
स यावत् आदित्यः
यावत् आदित्यः
यावदादित्यः
पुरस्तात् उदेता
पुरस्तात्
पुरस्तादुदेता
उदेतः
पश्चात् अस्तमेता
पश्चात्
अस्तमेता
अस्तमेतः
वसूनाम् एव
वसूनामेव
वसूनामेव
तावत् आधिपत्यम्
तावत्
तावदाधिपत्यम्
आधिपत्यम्
स्वराज्यं पर्येता
स्वराज्यं
स्वराज्यं
परिता
परिपाता
So you should be following. It's pretty simple Sanskrit. So this mantra is talking about the beneficiaries who will be enjoying this karma phalam, this honey. The nectar is the karma phalam. Who will be enjoying that? And so tad yat prathamam amrita. The first madhu, the first amrita, the first karma phala. And you have to recall what we have been talking about in the last few classes, right? What was the first karma phalam? The first madhu. The eastern rays were there. The bee was the rig mantra. The flower was the rig veda, rig veda karma. The rasam was the rigahuti. And madhu is the karma phal. Rohitam rupa. All that you have to recall. Okay, so tat yat prathamam amritam. And who are the ones who enjoyed that? Tat vasavaha upajivanti. So there is a set of devatas called the Vasus. So Tat Vasavaha Upajivanti, they are the bhoktas of this first Madhu. And who is the leader? Agnina Mukhena. Agni is the Mukham. So Mukham here is not the face. Mukham is the leader. The face of army, they say, right? That's leader of the army. So Agnina Mukhena. The devatas who are Vasus, their leader is Agni. And he gives a very interesting piece of information, which you find somewhere else also, but we'll come to that later. Navai Deva Ashnanti na pibanti. So, what is the contradiction? Here he says that Tadyat Prathamam Amritam. The first karma phalam is being enjoyed by the Vasus. But here he says, Navai Deva Ashnanti na pibanti. Devas, they do not drink or eat, right? And how do they then enjoy the honey? Etat eva amritam drishtva tripyanti. The very looking at the amritam, that is sufficient for them to be satisfied. And what is drishtva? So Shankara comments in his commentary saying that drishtva means not just looking, but darshanam by all the indriyas. So darshanam, shabda darshanam, sparsha darshanam, rupa darshanam, rasa darshanam, gandha darshanam. All these are karma phalams, and all these are subject to what? Finitude, time and space, right? But here it says devas just by giving darshan, by looking at it or hearing it, or they get they are fulfilled. They don't have to actually eat it or taste it. Then the etad eva rupam abhisamvishanti. Abhisamveshaha means to withdraw. So he's saying that these karma phalams are available to the devas for darshanam. So they are participating of the pleasure. And etadeva rupam abhisamshanti. Sometimes the pleasures are withdrawn. And etat smat rupa udhyanti. And sometimes they are enjoying the pleasures again. Right. So remember that we are not talking about karma. This is the upasana section. So we are talking about upasanas. And therefore, when the meditation is being talked about, it is being prescribed on these Eastern rays, on the Rik mantra, on the Rik karma, etc. And then what happens? Saye etat evam amritam veda. When that person meditates etat evam in this manner, what will happen to him? Vasunam eva eko bhutva. He will also become a vasu. One of the devatas he will become. And then what will happen? Once he becomes a vasu, Agninaiva mukhena etadeva amritam drishtva tripyati sa etadeva rupam abhisamvishati etasma upat udeti. Along with Agni, the leader, and the other vasus, he will also enjoy this karma phalam, the first madhu. And he adds here, sometimes enjoy, sometimes withdraw. Right? Not only that, vasunam eva tavat adipatyam swarajyam paryetaha. He will become the chief. He will enjoy the overlordship of the Vasus. And how long will he enjoy? Sayavat Aditya Purastat Udetaha. As long as the sun Udetaha rises Purastat in the east and Paschat Astametaha sets in the west. So as long as that loka is there, he will enjoy. That is the meaning. As long as the loka lasts, he will enjoy the Fruits like the Vasus, because he himself has become one Vasu. Okay. Now we look at the seventh section.
Om sir,
Yeah.
can I ask?
Yes.
What is meant by withdrawing, enjoy, withdraw, and again enjoy? What does that mean? Something cyclical?
You get food sometimes, you don't get food sometimes, don't you?
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So the phalam varies.
It's available sometimes, so not available all the time. That's what it's. And
Oh,
sometimes
thank
it's
you.
taken away, sometimes it comes back.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Seventh Khandaha, 4 mantras are there. अथ यद्वितीयम् अमृतम्
अथ यद्वितीयममृतम्
तद्रुद्रा
तद्रुद्रा
Tadrudra
उपजीवन्ति इन्द्रेण मुखेन
upajivanti
उपजीवन्तीन्द्रेण
indrena
मुखेन
mukhena
न वै देवा अश्नन्ति न पिबन्ति
न वै
na vai
देवा
deva
अश्नन्ति न
ashnanti na
पिबन्ति
pibanti
एतदेव अमृतं दृष्ट्वा तृप्यन्ति
एतदेव
etadeva
अमृतं
amritam
दृष्ट्वा
drishva
तृप्यन्ति
tripyanti
एतद् एव रूपम् अभिसंविशन्ति
ta
एतदेव
etad eva
रूपमपि
rupam
संविशन्ति
abhishamvishanti
एतस्मात् रूपात् उद्यन्ति
एतस्मात्
etasmat
रूपाद्यन्ते
rupa janti
स ये एतद् एवम् अमृतं वेद
य
sa yat etat
एतदेवममृतं
amritam
वेद
veda
रुद्राणाम् एव एको भूत्वा
rudranam
रुद्राणामेव
evo
वैको
eko
भूत्वा
bhutva
इन्द्रेणैव मुखेन
इन्द्रेणैव
indrenaiva
मुखेन
mukhena
एतद्वा अमृतं दृष्ट्वा तृप्यति
etadva amritam
एतदमृतं दृष्ट्वा
drishtva
तृप्यति
tripyati
स एतद् एव रूपम् अभिसंवशति
sa etad
एतदेव
eva rupam
अभिसंविशन्ति
abhishamvishanti
नाट् विशन्ति विशति
vishati
एतस्मात् रूपादुदेति
etasmat rupa udeti
उदेति
स यावत् आदित्यपुरस्तादुदेता
यावद्
yavat
आदित्य
aditya
पुरस्ता उदेता
prastadudeta
पश्चादस्तमेता
पश्चाद
पश्चादस्तमेता
अस्तमेता
द्विस्तावद्दक्षिणत उदेत
विस्तावदक्षिणत उदेत
उदेत
उत्तरत अस्तमेता
उत्तरत
उत्तरतस्तमेता
अस्तमेता
रुद्राणाम् एव तावत्
रुद्राणामेव तावत्
आधिपत्यं स्वराज्यं पर्येत
आधिपत्यं
आधिपत्यं
स्वराज्यं
स्वराज्यं
पर्येत
पर्येता
So you'll see that the mantras are almost identical. The only difference is the fourth mantra is slightly different. So let us see. Tad rudra upajivanti indrena mukhena. So second one, right? This is the second, what they call. So he says, atha yat dvitiyam amritam. The second amritam. Tad rudra upajivanti indrena mukhena. The second karma phalam is enjoyed by the Rudras. Rudra is also another class of Devatas. Okay, this is not Rudra, the Rudra version of Lord Shiva. There is a whole category of Devatas called the Rudras. So these are all the Rudras who are enjoying this particular karma phalam. And who is the leader? Indrena Mukhena is the Indra. And just like before, na vai deva ashnanti na pibanti eta deva amritam drashtva trapyanti. They don't drink or eat. Their fulfillment, trapyanti, contentment, is by darshanam alone, drishtva. And all the other features which you saw earlier, you have to extend over here. I'm not going into them. Then, how long does it last? Ta etad eva rupam abhisamvishanti etasmat rupat udhyanti. Right? So this will be enjoyed. How long? As long as the karma is there. And therefore, what happens to the person who is doing this upasana? So, etad eva amritam veda, the one who does upasana in this manner, Rudranam eva eko bhutva. He will become one with the Rudras. He will become a Rudra Devata. And like before, Indrenaiva mukhena etadeva amritam drishtva tripyati. So etadeva rupam abhisamvishati etasmat rupat udeti. He will enjoy the fruits of that karma along with the leader who is, along with the leader of the Rudras, who? Indra. Okay. Indra. And not only that, Rudranam eva tavat adipatyam swarajyam paryeta. He will get the same benefits as the leader. He will get overlordship of the loka of the Rudras. And how long is he going to enjoy them? So here is the difference. Saha yavat adityaha purastat udeta. As long as the sun rises in the south and paschat astameta and sets in the north, Dvistavat Dakshinataha. The Dvistavat means the duration is as twice as the other loka. Dakshinat Udeta Uttarataha Stameta. The sun rises in the south and sets in the north. And the duration of the loka is as twice as long as the earlier loka. That's what Dvistavat means. Dvihi Tavat. Okay. Now, in which loka does the sun rise in the south and set in the north? Unless you know Puranas, you may not know.
It's actually south, east, and north, west during the Uttarayan.
Not our loka at all. It is supposed to be Yamaloka. Sun rises in the south and sets in the north. That is why when you say that Lord Yama is the southern direction. Anyway, so we're talking about different lokas. Okay, the only thing which I take away from here is that Shastra seems to think that all the lokas are around this place only. Because it's talking about the sun. Okay, of course it could be a different sun, but since sun rises in the east for us and sun rises in the south for this loka, for Yaman loka, we can take it as it's a different configuration of the lokas. Okay. Now we look at Ashtama Khandaha, the eighth section. So we will chant. Atayat Tritiyam Amritam.
Athaya Tritiyam Amritam.
Amritam.
You can follow, right? Therefore, this is the third karma phala. Atha Yat Tritiyam Amritam. Tad Aditya Upajivanti.
Tadadityo upajivanti.
Varunena Mukhena.
Varunena mukhena.
Navai Deva Ashnanti Napibanti.
Navai deva ashnanti na pibanti.
Etadeva Amritam Drishtva Tripyanti.
Etat deva amritam drishtva tripyanti.
Etadeva Rupam Abhisamvishanti.
Tadetat eva
Rupam
rupam abhishamsanti.
Etasmad Rupad Udhyanti.
Tasmat rupad udyanti.
Etadeva Amritam Veda.
Etat eva amritam veda.
Adityanameva Eko Bhutva.
Adityanam eko bhutva.
Varunenaiva Mukhena.
Varunenaiva mukhena.
Etad eva Amritam Drishtva Tripyati.
Etat eva amritam drishtva tripyati.
Sa etadeva Rupam Abhisamvishati.
Tad eva rupam abhishamti.
Etasmat
Vishati.
Rupad Udeti.
एतस्मादुदेति
स यावत् आदित्यो दक्षिणत उदेत
स यावत् आदित्यो
आदित्यो
दक्षिणत
दक्षिणोदेत
उत्तरत अस्तमेत
उत्तरत
उत्तरत
अस्तमेत
अस्तमेत
द्विस्तावत् पश्चादुदेत
द्विस्तावत् पश्चात् उदेत
पश्चादुदेत
पुरस्तादस्तमेत
पुरस्तादस्तमेत
आदित्यानामेव तावत्
आदित्यानामेव तावत्
तावत्
आधिपत्यं स्वराज्यं पर्येत
आधिपत्यं
आधिपत्यं
स्वराज्यं
स्वराज्यं
पर्येत.
पर्येत
So almost identical. This is the third karma phalam. Who are the devatas here? Come on. First line. Aditya Devatas. Okay, so there are a whole set of Devatas. Aditya Devatas. And who is the leader? Varunena Mukhena. Varuna is the leader. And the same thing. Fulfillment is by darshanam alone. And as before, the one who meditates in this manner will become one with Adityas and he will enjoy all the phalams along with their leader, which is Varunaha. And not only that, Adipatyam Swarajyam Paryeta. He will acquire overlordship of the Varuna Loka. Right? Then the difference comes. Sa yavat adityaha dakshinataha udeta uttarata astameta dvistavat pascharudeta purastat. The sun rises in the west, pascharudeta purastat, and sets the east, and dvistavat dakshinata udeta uttarataha. It's twice as long as the previous loka. Right. What is the previous loka?
Yamaloka. Yamaloka.
Yamaloka. Okay, fine. Yamaloka. Right. So it'll keep on changing. So you don't just remember that. Now we go to the next section. Navama Khandaha. We will chant. Again, 4 mantras. This is the fourth set of karma phalam. Atha chaturtham amritam
अथ
अथय
यच्चतुर्थम्
चतुर्थममृतम्
अमृतम्
tanmarutah upajivanti
तन्मरुत उपजीवन्ति
somena mukhena
सोमेन मुखेन
navaideva ashnanti na pibanti
न वै देवा अश्नन्ति न पिबन्ति
etadeva amritam drishtva tripyanti
एतदेवामृतं दृष्ट्वा तृप्यन्ति
etadeva rupam abhisamvishanti
एतदेव रूपम् अभिसंविशन्ति
etasmat rupadudhyanti
एतस्माद् रूपाद्
saye etad evam amritam deva
य एतदेवमृतं वेद
marutameva eko bhutva
मरुतामेवैको भूत्वा
somenaiva mukhena
सोमिनैव मुखेन
etadevamritam drishtva
एतदेवामृतं दृष्ट्वा
tripyati sa etadeva
तृप्यति स एतदेव
rupam abhisamvishati
रूपमभिसंविशति
etasmat rupadudeti
एतस्माद् रूपाद् उदेति
स यावद् आदित्य पश्चादुदेत
स यावत् आदित्यस्य पश्चादुदेत
पुरस्तादस्तमेत
पुरस्तादस्तमेत
दृष्टावत् उत्तरत उदेत
पुरस्तावदुदित उदेत
दक्षिणतः अस्तमेत
दक्षिणतः अस्तमेत
अमृतामेव तावत्
मरुतामेव तावत्
आधिपत्यं स्वराज्यं पर्येत
आधिपत्यं स्वराज्यं पर्येत.
So it's again almost identical. The fourth karma phalam, the fourth madhu is enjoyed by the marutas. The devas called the set of devatas called the marutis, and the leader is Somaha. And same as before, na deva ashdanti na pibanti amrutam drashtva trapyanti. The pleasures come and go also. Etadeva rupam abhisamvishanti etasmat rupat putyanti. They come and go also. And so etat evam amritam veda marutameva eko bhut. One who meditates in this manner, he becomes marutameva, becomes like a marutaha. One of those devas he becomes. And like before, somena mukhena, etc. He enjoys the pleasures of somaloka along with their leader Somaha. And Adipatyam Swarajyam Pareta, he acquires overlordship of the Somaloka. What is the difference? Uttarata Udeta, Dakshinata Astameta. The sun rises in the north and sets in the south. And Dvistavat Paschad Udeta Purastad Astameta. It's twice as long as the earlier Loka, as the Varuna Loka. Okay. The first set refers to the description in the earlier mantra, and next set refers to description of this mantra. So this is again a different loka where sun rises in the north and sets in the south. Now we go to Dashama Khandaha, the 10th section, again for mantras. So we will check. Athayat Pancham Amritam
अथ यत् पञ्चममृतम्
Tat Sadhya Upajivanti
तत्साध्य उपजीवन्ति
Brahmana Mukhena
ब्रह्मणा मुखेन
न वै देवाश्नन्ति न पिबन्ति
न वै देव अश्नन्ति न पिबन्ति
एतदेव अमृतं दृष्ट्वा तृप्यन्ति
एतदेवामृतं दृष्ट्वा तृप्यन्ति
न एतदेव रूपम् अभिसंविशन्ति
एतदेव रूपम् अभिसंविशन्ति
एतस्मात् रूपादुध्यन्ति
एतस्मात् रूपादुह्यन्ति
स एतदेवम् अमृतं वेद
एतदेवममृतं वेद
साध्यानामेव एको भूत्वा
साध्यानामेवैको भूत्वा
ब्रह्मणैव मुखेन
ब्रह्मणैव मुखेन
एतद्वा अमृतं दृष्ट्वा
एतद्वामृतं दृष्ट्वा
तृप्यति स एतदेव
तृप्यति स एतदेव
रूपम् अभिसंविशति
रूपम् अभिसंविशति
एतस्मात् रूपात् उदेति
एतस्मात् रूपादुदेति
स यावत् आदित्य उत्तरतः
यावदादित्य
उदेता दक्षिणतः
उदेता दक्षिणतः
अस्तमेत
अस्तमेत
द्विस्तावत् ऊर्ध्वमुदेत
द्विस्तावतूर्ध्वमुदेत
अर्वाणङ्गस्तमेत
अर्वाणोऽस्तमेत
साध्यानामेव तावत्
साध्यानामेव तावत्
आधिपत्यं स्वराज्यं पर्येत
आधिपत्यं स्वराज्यं पर्येत
So अथयत् पंचमम अमृतम. The fifth karma phalam. Who is that? Sadhya. Right? The fifth madhu is the bhokta is Sadhya. And who is the leader? Brahmanaha Mukhena. So normally we can take Brahmana as Hiranyagarbha, as Saguna Brahma. But Shankara in his commentary says you should take it as Omkara. You can take it as either. There is no problem. But since we are following Shankaracharya, Omkara is what we're going to take it as. And as before, na ashnanti na pibanti, drishtva tripyanti. and all the same things. He comes and goes, and the one who meditates in this manner becomes one with sadhya, and also acquires overlordship over the sadhya lokaha. And then the difference is there. Sa yavat aditya urdhvam udeta arvang astameta. Right. Urdhvam is up, arvang is down. So there in this sadhya loka, the sun rises on the top direction, it sets the down direction. And dvistavataha, the time period is twice as long as the previous loka, which is soma loka. And here, we might all be confused. How can there be different names for sunset and sunrise? Right? Because when the sun rises in the east, we call it sunrise. When the sun rises sets in the west, we call it sunset. And therefore, Anandagiri in his sub-commentary gives a very beautiful little sloka. So worthwhile remembering. Yair yatra drishyate suryaha tadesham udaya smrutaha. Yair yatra drishyate suryaha tadesham udaya smrutaha. Tiro bhavam ch yatra eti tadeva astamanam rave. Naiva astamanam arkasya nodayah sarvada satah. Udayastamane nama darshana rave. Udayastamane nama darshana rave. So I'll explain it to you in English. Ye yatra drishyate surya, where the sun is seen. Tadesham udaya smrtaha, we call it udaya, sunrise. Tirobhavam yatra eti, when the sun vanishes. Tadeva astamanam rave, we call it sunset. But really speaking, naiva astamanam arkasya na udaya sarvada sataha. There is never, sarvada, there is never ever astamanam or udaya for the sun. There is no setting or rising for the sun. Udaya astamane nama darshana adarshane ravehe. These are just names for the event of seeing the sun and not seeing the sun. Very beautiful little explanation. It tells us not to take all these descriptions too seriously. Now, so far what we have done, we have done upasana on the various layers of the sun. Now in the next khanda, we are going to take Surya as one composite thing, Samashti Surya Upasana, right? And this Upasana is called Aham Graha Upasana. Aham Graha Upasana is what? We have talked about it at length in Bhagavad Gita. Anybody?
Sir, you said ahangraha.
Ahangraha.
That is when you invoke it on my own self.
Yes.
That is ahangraha.
When the alambanam is your own self.
Yeah. Sorry, my background is noisy, Acharya.
No problem. So you are invoking on yourself, right? Ahangraha Upasana. And therefore remember that Ahangraha Upasana, there is no Upasaka different from the Upasya. You are not, you the Upasaka, are not different from the object of the Upasana, because why? The object of the Upasana is being invoked on yourself. So it is Abheda Upasana. It's a new name, Abheda Upasana. Remember, Abheda Upasana is not the same as Abheda Jnana. Abheda Upasana, you are imagining yourself to be Brahman. In Abheda Jnanam, you know that you are Brahman. That difference we must remember. So we look at the Ekadasha Khandaha, the 11th section. 3 mantras are there. We will chant. Ata tata urdhva udetya naiva udeta
Etrayita
Nastameta ekala
Nastameta ekala
eva madhye sthata tadesh slokah
Eva madhye sthata lokah
navai tatra nimlochah
Navai tatra na nimlocha
nodiyaya kadachana
Nodiyaya kadachana
devastenaham satyena
Devastinaham satyena
ma viradhishi brahmaneti
Aviradhishi brahmaneti
nahava asma udeti
Nava asma udeti
nanim lochati
Nanimlochati
sakritiva haiva asmai bhavati
Asmai
etam evam brahmopanishadam veda.
Etam evam Brahmopanishadam Veda.
So the Ahangara Upasana itself is not mentioned here, but the phalam is mentioned. And the phalam is what? Kramamukti. Right? Kramamukti we all know from chapter 8 of the Bhagavad Gita, so I won't explain too much. So he says, Naiva udetaha na astametaha. There is no sunrise or sunset. Right? Remember that in all the previous mantras, the sunrise was there and the sunset was there. So it was indicating that there is a loka present, there is a world present, universe present, right? But here, there is no sunrise, no sunset. So thereby implying that this is not a loka at all. And what is the logic? This Upasaka has done what? Ahangara Upasana. He has invoked Aditya Deva upon himself, Surya Devata upon himself. Therefore, he is visualizing himself as what?
Sun.
As,
Surya
as,
Devata.
as Surya Devata. And if you are invoking Surya Devata on yourself, that Surya Devata is where? In your heart. The Hridaya Akasha, the space of the heart. The sun is shining there. Where is the question of sunrise or sunset for this particular Upasaka? Therefore, Naiva Udeta Nastametaha. Then, Hridaya Akashe Chida Aditya Sadabhati Nirantara. In that Hridaya Akasha, in the space within his heart, Chit Aditya. Now, the Chit Aditya is the sun of consciousness. Right? The sun of consciousness, Sadha Bhati Nirantaram, is always shining. And therefore, Udaya Astamayo Nastaha. Where is the rising or setting? This is what Shankara asks in his commentary. And if there is no rising or setting of the sun, Shankara adds a further couple of things. Katham Sandhyam Upasamehemahe. Where is the question of doing Sandhya Vandana? Do you know why he says that? When is Sandhya Vandanam to be done?
At the time when the
Dawn
Sandhya,
and
at
yes.
Sandhya Kala, when there is a joining of this two, morning and afternoon, or night and morning stuff, or the evening and night. But here there is no sun at all. Where is the question of joining? And therefore Shankara says, for such a upasaka, there is no Sandhya Vandanam required at all. And therefore the mantra says, Atha Tata Urdhva Udetya. Sun goes upwards. Naiva Udeta Nastameta. And that sun neither rises nor sets. But Madhye Sthata Tadesha Slokaha. Madhye Sthata. Sun remains in the middle of his body. Madhye in himself. And in this respect, Tadesha Slokaha. In this respect, there is a ring mantra. So you should carefully look at the words Ataha Tataha. Ataha Tataha means now, after having done such thing, then tataha. Right? So it indicates a sequence. And Shankara says this sequence means that this upasaka has to go somewhere and then get mukti. And therefore, this upasaka has to go to Brahmaloka and then get mukti. That is a phala. Right? And in this mukti, navai tatra na nimlochaha na udayaya kadachana. So in this particular krama mukti, there is neither udaya, neither sunrise, nimlochaha. Nimlochaha is another word which means sunset. Neither sunset. So astam is nimlochaha. So in this kind of a mukti, in this krama mukti, mukti avasthayam, he says, in this krama mukti, there is neither setting of the sun or a rising of the sun. And this is a statement being made by the upasaka. Right? The idea is what? When the sun is far away from you, like we are sitting on the earth, on Prithvi, therefore you have the idea of morning, afternoon, dawn, and dusk. But just think that you are in the sun, or the sun is in you. Then these morning, dawn, dusk, these words have no meaning. What is the idea being conveyed? When you are residing in anatma, you have birth and you have death. Right? But the very substratum of anatma is what? Atma. So once you have taken yourself, identified yourself as Atma, then there will be neither birth nor death for you. It will be there for Anatma, but not for you. And therefore the Upasaka further says, Deva tenaham satyena ma viradhishi brahmaneti. He says, oh Lord, I am making this statement with full conviction. And therefore, let me not be away from Brahman. Let Brahman not be away from me. And here, yaha etam evam Brahma Upanishadam Veda. For the one who knows this particular Veda, what is the Veda? The secret teaching. What is the secret teaching? The Surya Upasana, which is Abheda Upasana. For that kind of a person, Nahava Asma Udeti Nanim Lochati. For this Jnani, there is no sunrise, there is no sunset. Sakrit Diva Haiva Asmai Bhavati. For him, the day is Sakrit, always there. Diva Sakrit Haiva Asmai Bhavati. For him, there is day all the time. It is eternal day for him. There is never a night. Very beautiful upasana. Now we look at the 11th section. We may not be able to finish, but we'll do what we can. There are two mantras. Mantra 4 and 6. We have done up to 3. We have done 4, 5, 6. 3 mantras we will do. The chant. Tadaitad Brahma
तदैतद्ब्रह्म
Prajapataya Uvacha
Prajapataya uvacha
Prajapatir Manave Manuhu
Prajapatir manave manuhu
Prajabhyah Tadaitad Uddalaka
Prajabhyat uddalaka
Arunye Jesthaya
आरुणिज्येष्ठाय
Aruneshthaya
Putraya Pita
Putraya pita
Brahma Provacha
Brahma provacha
Idam Vat Idam Vavatad Putraya
Idam
इदं वावतज्ज्येष्ठाय
vastatjeshthaya
पुत्राय
putraya
Pita Brahma Prabhuyat
पिता
Pita
ब्रह्म
Brahma
प्रभूयात्
prabhuyat
Pranayaya Va Antevasine
Pranaya
प्राणायाय
Vyaya
वहन्ते
Antyavasine
वासने
Nanya Asmai Kasmai Chana
Nanya
नान्य
asmai
तस्मै
kasmai
कस्मैचन
chana
Yadyapasma Imamam
यद्यपि
Yadyapi
इमाम्
imam
इमाम्
Ad Adbihi
Ati
Parigrihitam dhanasya
Parigrihitam
Dhanasya
Dhanasya
Purnam dadyata
Purnam
Purnam
Dadyat
Dhyata
Etadeva tato bhuyah
Etadeva
Tadeva
Tato Bhuyah
Tatobhuyah
Iti etadeva tato bhuya iti.
Ityeva Deva
Deva Tato
Tatobhuya
Bhuya
Iti.
Iti.
So we have done the upasanas on the 5 layers of the sun, and we have done the upasana on the samashti sun also. Samashti Surya also have done. The upasanas are over. So this is only a stuti, it's only glorification, right? So he says tad etat brahma prajapataya uvacha prajapatir manave manuhu prajabhyaha तदेतत् उद्दालक आरुण्ये ज्येष्ठाय पुत्राय पिता ब्रह्म प्रोवाच. What is he saying? Tad etat Brahma Prajapati. Right? Tad etat Brahma. So that is Saguna Brahman. Hiranya Garbha Prajapataya Uvacha. What did he do? Hiranya Garbha Saguna Brahman gave the teaching to Prajapati. And Prajapati, what did he do? Prajapatir Manave Manuhu Prajabhyaha. Prajapatir gave the teaching to Manu. And then Manuhu Prajabhya Tadaitat Uddalakaha. So Manu gave it to his child called Manavaha. And Manavaha taught it to Aruna Rishi. Right? Aruna Rishi taught it to Uddalakaha. Uddalaka taught it. Uddalaka was who? The eldest son. Arunaya Jeshthaya Putraya. So this is the parampara. Only the parampara has been given here. And therefore, it's important to remember that when Upasana is done, you normally remember the parampara also. Idam Vava Tajjeshthaya Putraya Pita Brahma Prabhuyat Pranayaya Va Ante Vasinaha. This is the instruction. And therefore, a father may teach. So here the word Brahma is, that is Pita Brahma Prabhuyat. Brahma means Upasana. So the idea is that a father may teach the Upasana to his eldest son. And if he doesn't have a son, then Pranayaya Shishyaya. Pranayaya means a person who is worthy of being taught. Ante Vasinaha is the Shishya, the student. So the father can teach either to his eldest son or to a Shishya who is worthy, na anya asmai kasmai chana, and not to anyone else at all. Yad api asma imam buddhihi parigrihitam dhanasya purnam dadyat. This is a qualification to the earlier Nanya Asmai Kasmai Chana. He should not teach to anybody else. Apart from whom? Apart to the worthy eldest son or the worthy Shishya. What if somebody offers a lot of darshina? So Imam Adbihi means that this entire universe, surrounded by all the oceans, Dhanasya Purnam Dadyat. Even if he gives you that as Guru Dakshina, Eta Deva Tato Bhuya Iti. This upasana is more valuable than that, than the entire universe. So we should teach it only to the person who is worthy. These are the instructions of the Shruti itself. And etadev tato bhuya iti. The repetition indicates end of the khanda. So with this, we'll stop for today. Next class, we'll do the 12th section onwards. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnam Eva Vasishyate Om Shanti 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 Om Tat Sat Om Namah Shivaya. Thank you for your
Om
patience.
Acharya,
Thank you, Acharya.
one question can I ask? Although we have, done
Okay, go
Purnamada,
ahead.
Purnamidam. So in these first 10 sections that we did, this is independent upasanas. This section 3 has all the independent, we said, upasanas. There is no ritual being done. So the
It is not
upasaka
part
is
of an
only.
upasana. Yeah, that's correct. Not
So
of upasana,
Swatantra,
not part
yeah.
of a ritual. Yeah.
Not part of a ritual. So the upasaka is imagining these different phases of the sun, and he's imagining this, different, like in we did Samved or Rig Veda, or
Yeah.
that there honeybees and honey and all that going and being enjoyed by. So that karam phalam is being enjoyed by those devatas.
Yeah.
Respective, which we did in the respective sections, and
Yeah.
the person who is doing the upasana gets the lordship over that loka. So
Yeah.
phalam, and that other phalam that he was imagining, all those yasha and teja and all that was part of imagination for devatas. That
But
phalam was for
those
devatas.
phalams are already there with Devata. So when he becomes a Devata, he also gets the phalam.
Right. Yes, yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Correct.
Okay. So this whole, thing, I was just wanting to confirm that what I've understood is right. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your patience, everybody.
Oh.